I'm waiting for my Brittany. No Brittany? This is episode 67. Go Live Vegas Studios. This show called Full Tilt Vegas. I was waiting for my girl. I guess she's not going to announce me. Anyway, you can go. He wants me to hang on. Hang on to what?
You're watching Full Tilt Vegas with Richard Delatorre. Full Tilt!
Thank you, Brittany. I'll see you in the coffee room. Anyway, you can get my book on Amazon, Google. You can Kindle it. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. It gives them as gifts. Blackjack, craps, and roulette. Talks about all the games, those three games on percentage and ratios, and goes into card counting, roulette with ratios specifically against you and the adversary, the casino. Then you have craps, which go into hedge betting and money management. This is a lot of good information. It took me years and years and years to gather up all this information, and I decided to write it on paper for my two kids, and I ended up publishing this book. Probably took me about 4 years, and then it took me another, I don't know what, it might have been another 2 years to add pages and simplify it. But it wasn't like I just wrote it. It took me a while because I wasn't going to publish it. And then I end up, a lot of people on the California, when I was doing California games, I did all the games. Carnival games, I did blackjack, craps, roulette. A lot of people, they asked me if I was a dealer. I told them yes, MGM Corporation. And then I moved back to Cali, and I was doing the games for years there. And they asked me that I had a lot of knowledge of the games that I was teaching them, showing what are better bets or what the percentage or ratio is against you. Play this, don't play that, you hedge against this. And they asked me, do I have a book? And I says, no, but I got a manuscript form. And a lot of people actually wanted to buy it in manuscript form. And it was only, I can't remember how many pages it was. It might have been could have been 50. They wanted to give me $30 for my manuscript. I could have sold tons of those things throughout the years that I dealt in California, all these games, but I didn't. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because if I thought, well, if I do that, all they have to do is take it apart and make copies, and they could have given it to all their friends. That's why I didn't do it. So then later on, I did find a page publishing out of New York. I saw a commercial, and then I called them up, and we sat down. And so if you have an idea for a book or a fictional novel, whatever you want, you can call Page Publishing out of New York, or Anthony Curtis here in Nevada. He's the same one, has a Las Vegas Advisor. Tells you everything about cheap rooms, parking, buffets, and all that. You can go online and find that. Las Vegas Advisor. He was on my show, episode 14, and he also has a publishing company. But Page Publishing, that's where I did mine. And so I end up signing the contract and doing it. It was really surprised me. It took me 8 months. I said, no, there it is, the manuscript form. Just go ahead and print it out. They go, that's not how it works. So, and it's called Chicago Writing. In the United States, it's called Chicago Writing. That's the font they use. So not only that, they correct any spelling, but I had to do all the math. I had to go over the math a lot because I had to make sure they had the math right, because they don't do the math. And a lot of those things, they totally went right over their head. When I was talking about card counting or hedge betting or money management, they just went right over their head, the math. So when they sent me back the proof sheet, that the page that was going to be printed, I had to go over the math again. I went over that math so much I got sick and tired of it. But hey, I had to do what I had to do to get this book done. And I the front cover, I designed that. Also, the the inside, the reverse cover. I wrote stuff on that, and on the inside back pages. It was time consuming. Took 8 months. I was really upset because I was I don't know, it was 40 days behind schedule, and because if they made a mistake, they had to send it back. This happens also. This happens to every company that you deal with, because they get to send back the work and make sure you go over it, make sure it's correct, and then you send it back to them. And you got to do it through emails. You can't talk to somebody on the phone, so you have to do all the line items and any corrections. You have to go down 4 paragraphs, six words over. It was crazy, but when it was done, I was glad. What's the zip code for your? Oh, you got to be kidding. Got to be 92410. But anyway, our technical director is asking me questions about some way out of this thing. Had nothing to do with my show. Anyway, he's all right. He reminds me of Yogi, the bear. The little Yogi. No, not Yogi. Yeah, Yogi. Anyway, okay, I guess that's enough about the book. But it's just interesting because there has people ask me, do you have a book and did you get it published? I said yes. So I gave all my cards out, and a lot of people did buy my book in California. So now, since I don't do those jobs no more, I'm here. Instead of giving out cards, you guys can see it here, the book here, and then you can go ahead and everybody uses your orders on Amazon, and you can get it on there through Amazon or Barnes & Noble. I suggest you download it on your phone so you can have it everywhere you go. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about, the reason why I'm going to talk about a little bit about card counting is because I was playing blackjack. And everybody knows all my shows, I talk about blackjack, they know that I'm a card counter. I can count a single deck. If you go on the Unicon, which would be episode 24, I did a live card count. I only counted one deck. I can count a deck in 23 seconds. If you can do it in 30, that's good. Some of the guys I know can do it in 25. Well, I did it in 23 seconds because I couldn't flip the cards over faster. I just couldn't do it. So I would look at the clock and do and look at the clock as fast as I can. 23 seconds, but it's really hard to do. But that means I can count cards really fast. If I see a layout, I can see the cards really quick. I'll go like this. Zip, I'm done. That's how fast I can count a layout. That's why I can drink and count cards at the same time. I suggest don't do that in the beginning, but I can do that. I can wait till all the cards are out and then start card count. The way I teach it in the book, you can see you can offset it. The dealer's up card and your 2 whole cards, and you start counting like that. You just go back and forth, boom, 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 and then you go the next person over to you. If you're sitting at first base, you offset his card with the next guy next to him, and you just go like that. Trust me, if you follow what I tell you in the book, you'll be able to card count 8 decks. I can do a single deck, double decks, which I say do not play that. Single and double decks, because you get too many stiff hands, and I do talk about it in the book, and I just don't care for single double decks. There is card counters say it's a better thing to do, but you can't, because a lot of these casinos now, they have shovel masters, and once they do, if it's a 2 decks, they'll go ahead and do one, say 6 people, 7 people, and they'll do it again. They'll take them all and they'll reshuffle them. They'll take them out of the discard rack and reshuffle them. So, and then you get too many stiff hands, because if you get a 16, which is the worst stiff hand you can get, the next card you're probably going to bust. It doesn't have to be a 10. If you get a 16, it could be 6 all the way to king, 10 value cards. So I played it early on. I don't care for it because you get too many stiff hands, and then you don't get to count, because they take. If you're playing a single deck, you only get one. There's 7 people, 6 people. They'll take them as soon as they put them on, and you count. You'd be lucky if you're at third base and the count is high, and suppose you get a couple of cards, you could split or double down. You'd be lucky if you could do that. I wouldn't do it. Why do you think the casino advertise come here and play single and double deck? That's because the average person does not card count, and they do not use card recognition, which I also have in the book. You can use card recognition. Hello, Richard. Hello. Wonder where she's from. Anyway, thank you for calling in there. Yeah, I played it. I don't like it. You get too many stiff hands. That's why I like counting a multi-deck shoe. And if you're a card counter, you gotta count in the beginning of a shoe. You can't come in when it's already going. That's why card counters wait, or they'll have somebody there as an agent waiting for the count. And as soon as the count whatever starts going, then he'll signal him, or he'll get up when he's leaving and he'll say something like, "I've had it with this table," which would give a signal. It's a certain number. So there's all kinds of tons of signals, and you can see that. Me and Anthony Curtis talk about that in episode 14. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I was card counting. I think it was, I don't know, it was Monday. Yeah, I was at the Golden Gate. I haven't been at the gate in a while, and I started counting. I was only playing $10 hands, and then I went to 2 hands, and it was just me and one other guy there. And we actually caught a good shoe, and I started winning. You know, I didn't win much. I don't know what it was, 300 and I don't know if it was like 340, $50, but I started with $10, $10. Then I went to 10 and 10, or no, 10. It was 10, 10, 10. Then I went to 10, 20 because you have to go higher. So then I was betting $40, but I was already up. So, but that's not bad because I only bought it for $100. So by the time that one shoe was over, this guy, he was drinking. I wasn't drinking. This guy was drinking, and we were high-fiving each other. And I was trying to more or less get the tension off of me because I was making kind of some moves. Because a couple of times normally people will hit a hand. I didn't hit it because I know the count was too high. So I made up some excuse. Oh, I don't like 14. I hate 14. I always screw up a 14, so I don't want to hit. You can get good at it after a while. So, like 300, and I don't know what it was, 340 something, but I still got my 100 back too. So I made that profit. I only played that one shoe and then I quit. But I was card counting that 6-deck shoe. Now, people ask me, how in the hell can you count a 6-deck shoe or an 8-deck? What are you, Rain Man? It's not that hard to do. What you have to do is follow exactly what I tell you in the book. Just follow it, because you start at a certain number per decks and you get rich at a certain number. So once you get past that number, which most of them are 49, and you start going to 55, 60, 65, that count is so stinking high that all 10 value cards are going to be coming out. That's all you got to do. I mean, I teach all the way from single deck to double deck. If you want to play that, I wouldn't do it. You can count 3 decks, 4 decks, everything. All the information's in there. But the reason why I brought that up, because I haven't done it in a while, because I like craps, and I've been screwing around with roulette. I talk about roulette in the book on a couple of my shows lately. I show you what you should be playing on roulette. The way I devised it, either the columns or first, second, third, 12. That's it. I don't play nothing else. I don't play straight up numbers. I don't play none of that. Street bets, corner bets, the basket. I don't play none of that. I just play first, second, and third. Pick 2 of those, or the columns. Pick 2 of those. 24 for me, only 14 for the casino. And then I start going to hedge bet and money management. You trip you out if you actually followed it. And you stop betting straight up numbers, because you have to put even if you bet 30, if you bet 35 numbers and you don't win, you out 35, say they're dollars, you lost $35. But if you hit one of the numbers after you bet $35 on all 35 single straight up numbers, which is 2.63% for you to hit that. So if you do that, and you hit one, say you hit one of the numbers, They're gonna take away 34 of those dollars you lost, and they'll give you 35. You only make $1, so you're gonna chance $35 to make $1. And what if you lose the first time? That's why I teach money management. If you lose the first time, even if you win the next time, you made $1 there, but for the last time you lost 35, so you're still $35 in the hole. The 34 plus the dollar, if I can get that right. But you always have to subtract your losses before wins. That's why you do everything in sessions. Like you take a session of roulette, say you got $100, $100, you do 3 sessions or whatever. You have to beat each session. Same thing with craps. Each person is a session. You have to beat that session. So I do talk about that. And what was the other one? No, it was blackjack. So I was done. I played. I got up, and I think I went to. There's a food truck there that Circa. It's right next to Circa, and I ate there. I got that comped because I get comped, so I got that comped. And then I went home happy. Okay, so that was card counting that I did. And that was 6-deck shoe. And you can't count 8 decks. Don't worry. You can actually count 10. I don't show you, but once you learn 6 and 8, all you do is you gotta add 2 more decks, and you can figure out the count real easy. I didn't do it because there's only one casino I've ever seen in my entire life. It was an Indian casino and Native American casino, and they had 10 decks, and they were so paranoid about card counters. If they understood card counting, they would find out that it doesn't matter what they do. It has nothing to do with how many cards you got. It matters in the count you start. The number you start with that's what matters, is the count. So anyway, okay, today, well, actually I didn't go, but I was watching all the races when Del Mar opened. Del Mar's open. It's my favorite track. Yesterday, it was bad. A lot of long shots were coming in. I was looking at some of the jockeys. I don't know where Pratt's at. Pratt's not here. Who else is not here? There's a couple other ones. They're not. I don't know why they're not at Del Mar. But Juan Hernandez, watch out for him on the turf. You got to watch that guy. Him and Pratt on the turf. You got to watch those 2 jockeys. And like I said, look for sires. The sires, the father's side. Look out for Into Mischief or War. War. What is it? War. No. Warfront. It's called Warfront. I want to say War Emblem, but no, that was a horse. Warfront and Into Mischief. Look for those sires because I was playing 2 weeks ago and I hit a couple of horses because of those sires. If there's 2 or 3 Into Mischiefs or Warfronts in those races, you better really figure out your handicapping because all 3 can't win. I mean, they can, but I've only seen it one time. Blanket finish, a dead heat, 3 horses. I've only seen that one time. The reason why I'm saying that is because Del Mar, normally, all those horses at Del Mar, because the track they water the track, which I hate when they do this. They water the track because they want it to be a fair track and want to make sure the track doesn't it will be fast if they didn't water it. So they till it at night 6 inches. During the day, they'll till it 3 inches, and then you'll see them watering it behind it. What that doing is they're making the track so the horses don't hit real hard sand. It's kind of, you see like V-ditches. And so the horses don't break down. And if they didn't water that track, the track would become faster. The reason why Del Mar's not a front-running track, because the ocean, you can see the ocean from the track, all that cold air coming in the front, doesn't matter if the sun's out, it's still the moisture coming in and laying on the track, which a lot of people don't understand this. If you go to Delatory 360 Entertainment and follow 7 through 10 episodes, I have 4 episodes on horse racing. I teach everything about horse racing. I did it for 9 years straight. That's all I did with horses for 9 years. So I talk about the whole thing on episode 7, how I got into it, and I was a sick puppy at the time, and I admit it, I'm cured now. But 7 through 10, and I teach you everything about horse racing. And I do talk about the tracks, Santa Anita versus Del Mar, the distance of the clubhouse turn and the finish line, which is really important. But Del Mar that's why Del Mar is not a front running track. Del Mar is most of the time it's come from behind. Delahousie was fantastic. He would come from behind. And but at Del Mar, that's the way the track ran. So if you get horses that run to the front, and that's how they run, because sometimes the trainers like to take the blinkers off. The old term was a hood. They take the hood off, and they try to rate the horse. And sometimes the horses don't run like that. They're trying to change the horse's running style, and the horse doesn't like being held back. So you see him fighting the bit, and he keeps fighting that bit. You see him all doing all this. And then he burned the horse out. And then when they try to get him to going, he just falters. He doesn't do anything. Sometimes you can't change the horse. There is some horses that run in the front and come from behind. There's not that many, but it does happen. So that's why Del Mar is a closing track, not a front running. There's been times where it's funny because if it's a 6 furlong and the track's a little bit faster than normal, if you go to my episodes, I think it's 7 and 8, I do talk about the splits. Those are the times for first 2 furlongs, the next 2 furlongs. I'll give you the splits and the times, and you can tell where your horse is at that time and where he finishes at the finish line. If he wins and the splits were fast, that means it was probably hot that day and the track's a little bit faster. That's the only time front runners win. Sometimes stake horses that are worth couple of $1,000,000 or they're real expensive, sometimes they run against the bias, and they will run against that bias, and they'll stay in the front. But you gotta, like I said, you have to go to Delatory 360 Entertainment, episodes 7 through 10, and I talk about all that. Horses that are got good breeding. Sometimes they're just, if they have the sire and the dam, both of them were front runners. A lot of times you'll get some freak and they'll just run to the front, like 30 slews. Baffert had 30 slews, and there was another one. I know Devil's Bag on quarter horses and Corona. They were front runner. Those horses got out and they were gone. So the reason why I'm saying that, because I was I've been watching the races. I didn't go, but I was looking at them. I'm seeing some of the payouts yesterday, and some of them were $30. Some were they were $16. Some of the horses, if they're $16 or something like that, even $11. Well, $11. Horses like that, they probably weren't the favorites. So a lot of people that do bet the favorites, they probably lost. Or if you handicap on a form, usually the horses are supposed to run. This is where people make a mistake. When you're reading a form at Del Mar and you look at the workouts, this is a big mistake people make. The workouts you're looking at, they're probably were at Santa Anita. He's not racing at Santa Anita. He's running at Del Mar now. He's not front running. If he goes to the front, he's going to die like a stuffed rat. That horse is not going to go those. If he goes those splits, he's not going to make it. So you have to adjust a lot of good handicappers will adjust their handicapping from that. That's the same thing when I see horses run at Del Mar and they go from Del Mar, the next meet is Santa Anita. Those horses that didn't win at Del Mar and they were front runners, they died. They're running at Santa Anita now where the track is really fast because it's hot and the track is drying out, which stays harder. Those horses that didn't win at Del Mar, a lot of those horses will win at Santa Anita. That's what you have to understand that. It's just experience. All the years that I've done it, I don't know I can't. That thing's way too far. But anyway, what's it? Yeah, 100 has a good on grass. Yep, and gives me a grade 1 mount. Yeah. That jockey. I remember when he first came. What is it riding? What graded ones? When he first came, Pratt was my man on turf. I won some really good races with Pratt. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago when I told my buddy, I said, you know what? I don't care if Pratt's on a favorite or not. He's on the turf. When he's on these turf races, you better look at him. You better watch out because he might win some of these long shots. And there could be 8-1. You know, they could be even. I said he won one was something like 16-1. And I told Barney, I says, you know, Pratt's on all these turf races. He just because he's not on the favorite don't mean he's going to win, or not win. And he was on the one horse, and I told Barney, I says, you know what? That horse has a shot of winning this race. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to win, but he has a shot of winning. And he was like 30, I think he was like 30 to 1 or something like that. And Pratt came in second. He almost won the damn race. And I says, I told you. And I was so stupid because I told him, you know what? I'm so dumb. I should have just put 20 to win and 20 to place on him. And, yeah, I don't remember what it paid, like $40-some to place. That was a mistake on my part. But yeah, Pratt, and then when Jay Hernandez came, Juan Hernandez came, he started winning a lot of grass races. And then I noticed when Santa Anita was on, they were both winning. It was them too. They were winning the grass races, or sometimes they're coming in 1-2 on the dirt. You got to look out for those two guys, Pratt and Hernandez. Let me see. Yeah, like today, what's that race? The third race, that wasn't much. That was $9. Where's that long shot? Oh yeah, see, Tyler Bays is a good jockey. As a matter of fact, I don't know what's going on up there. Don't take this as advice, but I noticed the 4-hole. It's called the four hole out of the gate. I know the fours keep winning. I mean, that means that the track where the 4 runs, that's probably a good area within that area. Sometimes, or it's just how it happens, a coincidence. All the horses that were number 4 were really good horses, but they weren't favorites. Like this one right here is a $31 horse. It's number 4. I noticed yesterday a bunch of 4s kept coming in. And the first race was $6. That wasn't nothing. And then the third race, there was a $90 horse. And this is today. This horse came. This blew me away. Yeah, Keep Free. I guess it's hard to pronounce this guy's name, but that was a $65 horse that came in. Now, let me see. Where you at? It was a mile. It doesn't say turf or anything on there, but it was a mile. So evidently, this guy, a lot of pick 6s, a lot of pick 3s, a lot of pick 4s. A lot of people got knocked out. But the reason why somebody hits these pick 4s, pick 3s, pick 5s, because they wheeled the race. It's called wheeling the race, or they some guys. The old term was, I'm going to detergent the race, in which they were referencing all the detergent all. Some people do wheel the entire race. That's the only reason why some of these people are winning. Uh-oh, this is my daughter. What casino still has what? Crap assless? Yeah, always throw the numbers even if the dice have no memory. Yep. What's it called? I just blew my mind. There's a casino I was at. Where was I at? There was a casino I was just at, and they have crapless. A lot. Some casinos have them. Anyway, where are you at? I think my daughter's at a concert right now in Inglewood. Toby Keith or somebody, Cleve Ledger or something like that. But anyway, thanks, Avi. Make sure you drive home. Art will be swerving all over the freeway. Let me see. Crap assless. The one thing about crapless, crap table, it's a little more expensive because if you're playing craps, besides taking 6 and 8, and a lot of people play inside numbers 5, 6, 8, and 9. You got to play 6 and 8. You have to play 6 and 8. Those are the two most powerful numbers in besides the 7, which is 16.67%, 6 and 8, or 13.89%. Those are the higher the percentage, the more that number is going to come up. The lower the percentage, which is 2.78, which would be aces and 12, is harder to come up. That's why they pay so much on proposition bets, or the field they'll pay double sometimes or triple. But crapless, the reason why, if you're going to play crapless craps, you should be betting aces, ace deuce, and then you got to play 11 and 12. Those are 4 more numbers. So if you play 6 and 8, you're already playing 6 numbers. And if it's a $10 table, that's really expensive. That's just $60 right off the bat. And that's not counting your pass line bet and your odds. So, but if you're going to play craps, you should be playing those 4 numbers. I'll just say 2, 3, 11, and 12. You should be playing, or you shouldn't be playing crapless craps. There's no reason to play it, because those things do pay quite a bit. 30, I think it's in the back. What is it? Pay 6 times. Depends on the number. Aces and 12 pay 6 times, and I think it has to be $15. If it's $10, I think it gets paid 5. You have to place the correct amount to get the true payout in the back. You can ask the dealer while you're there. But if you're going to play crapless craps, you got to play those 4 numbers. 2, 3, 11, 12, and you got to play 6 and 8. So you're already playing 6 numbers. If not, you shouldn't be on that table, because that's where you're going to make your money. If you catch somebody, I'm just going to say, if you can catch somebody an hour, oh my God, you're going to make so much money, it's going to just blow your mind. But you have to understand something, that doesn't happen all the time. If you catch somebody for even 20 minutes, if they're giving him the dice real fast and he keeps going, they're not standing there arguing or talking a bunch of crap, and they're giving you the shooter the dice back real quick. If he shoots even 20 minutes, you should make quite a bit of money. I got on a crapless table. It was at where the Circa is now. It was called the Vegas Club, and they had it there. I'm not sure. I think the Plaza still has it, but I got on that table. I was only on the table 15 minutes, and I think I told the story. I was only on there. No, I think it was 10 minutes, and the guy was shooting. I don't know. I think I made something like $300 just like that, because I was playing all the numbers. But you gotta. And the only reason I got on that table is because I saw all these people. They had a whole ton of chips, and I know they don't know what they're doing. I could tell when I got there. Half the time they're betting these other crazy bets, and I said, they made all that money, all those chips, and they don't know what they're doing. It's because it doesn't matter. If you're playing numbers and the guy keeps shooting without 7 out, you're going to make a ton of money no matter what. That happened to a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. He bought in for, I think it was $100, but he only played $27 out of the 100, and he kept winning and winning and winning and winning. I told him, press it up. He didn't want to press it up because he was too scared to lose the money. I told him, press it up, damn it, press it up. And he didn't do it. The guy finally 7 out after 45 minutes. The guy who was throwing for 45 minutes, he bought in for $1,600. He won $29,000. He did that in 45 minutes. But the guy was pretty good because I was watching him. He kind of knew what he was doing. He was pretty good. But my friend at $100 at $27, they want to press it. He made $240 that whole time. If he would have pressed it like I told him, he probably would have won somewhere about I'd say about $1,200. And he didn't want to do it. Don't be afraid to gamble. If you're going to be afraid to lose your money, then you shouldn't be playing, because you're not taking the opportunities when you're playing a certain game like craps, or you notice somebody says, I caught a hot shoe on blackjack, and you're so afraid to keep upping your bet or don't have the knowledge to split or double down, you're losing out a lot of money. That's why, like I said, you can go to my book and learn everything about blackjack, card counting, card recognition, strategies on blackjack, and using money management and hedge betting. Like how much she's watching from Canada, right? Yeah, she's from Canada. Hello, miss you. Anyway, Yeah, so if you're gonna play any of these games, blackjack, craps, roulette, those games, card poker, mini bach, don't be afraid to bet. If you're gonna be afraid to bet, up your bet, you really shouldn't be playing. If you're gonna play with $100 and for recreation, then I guess it's fine. But if you catch, like I said, one of those games, if it's on fire, and you're playing, it says, no, I'm just wanting to, and you see everybody making a ton of chips, and but you still want to play that's all right. But you're missing an opportunity that you probably could have made. It could be 500, $1,000. Trust me, it happened. There was a lady, she got off the Greyhound bus. I was walking by, I saw her she got off. It was downtown, and I saw them with their luggage, and I almost ran into her. So I waited a little bit, and then I walked around, and I was going to the Golden Gate, and because I got there, I parked my car there. I was going to the Golden Gate. It was free parking at the time. It's not free no more. They charged you $5. I'd just rather valet it now. I was at the Golden Gate, so I went, got in my room, put all my beautiful clothes out. Look at here. And settled down. I got something to eat, and then I said, let me go to the plaza and go see what's going on over there first, because I think I went over to see if they have crapless craps. So I went over there, and I saw those two ladies that got off the Greyhound bus. They were playing ever since they got off the bus. They went to that table because they still have their luggage. And the one lady I started talking to, I says, you guys just got off that bus, did you? She goes, yes. We came straight to the table. We want to see what was going on. And we just said, screw it, let's just play. So each bought it for $100. And the lady I was talking to, she was up $2,400. And her friend was up $2,000, because she was playing more conservative. But I was saying, you got to be kidding. You made $2,400. You've been here a half hour, and you started with $100, and they didn't know what they were doing. The dice were on fire. The guy was just throwing numbers. And I said, oh my God, if I would have came here with these ladies at this time playing the way I do, I might have made probably in that half hour, I might have made somewhere around $6,000-$7,000. But you don't know. You don't know who's going to be shooting an hour and a half. You can go to the California downtown and go to their Golden Arm wall, and you can see all the people with their plaques. There's like 400 or 500 plaques, and you see it shows you every one for an hour or more. They got their name on that plaque, and some of them, I looked up there, and some of them through 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Hour and 45 minutes. I go, oh man, where was I? But you can do this. You can make this money. I know I get off here. I'm looking at Del Mar again. Del Mar is a great track. You can go and have a good time at Del Mar. Fridays and Saturdays. No, Fridays, I think they start at 4. But they have those concerts, so you got to be ready for that. They have concerts sometimes Friday and Saturday, so there's a bunch of teenagers there, so they always get in my way when I'm trying to. The last concert starts, I think, at 6, something like that. But they end up showing up late, and they're all playing horse. They don't know what they're doing, and they're in my way. But I'm just letting you know, there's a lot of traffic on Friday and Saturdays because of those concerts. The 8, that horse was paid $280. God, what is that? 1 to 5. That was a joke. That favorite one. 7th race, $18 horse. That means it was what was that? 714? No, 8, 16. So yeah, it was a 8-to-1 horse. It was $18 horse, and you got another $2.80. That was what? Here we go again. Juan Hernandez won that race. And then you got, I don't know who that is, the new jockeys. And then I don't know what happened here. This is the 9th race. But you can play, Del Mar is a great track. Even to go, I think this year, I don't know why they did this. They were charging I think it's $245 to get in opening day. That's the first time I ever heard they did this, and they made a ton of money. It was sold out. That's how many people love Del Mar, and how many people want to go and get out and be free in this country. They just want their freedom, so they all ran to the track and pulled their money out. And I can imagine the toke, the lines, and you should learn to use that machine too. If you all the machines, you should learn to use them. I think they're better. I had to run up sometimes 4 flights at Del Mar because the lines are so bad. I have to run up there, and I used to make my bets, and then I come back down and I try to get back where I was at just to see the race. But I don't pick horses like, oh, look at Junebug, same name as my cat, like that movie Let It Ride. That movie's a gas. That was a good movie with Richard Dreyfuss. Jennifer Tilly's in that movie. She's really young. She's very unknown back then. Jennifer Tilly was in that movie. She was in the executive club where I belong. So, but it was really interesting. Del Mar, you can go there and just have a blast. You can go in the infield too. I used to go there sometimes. I used to bring my son, and they didn't want to. They wanted to go home. They don't care. They know I played horses, but I just took him there for a day. Him and his girlfriend. Was that say who's that jersey? You made me feel what? Maybe it's Richard. Was it Murderously? Yeah, those are bigger. Those are a little bit bigger. Why? Why did I make you feel like that? Hey, if you're interested in horse racing, just go to 7 through 10. You'll learn everything you possibly can learn about. There's going to be stuff in there that people can say, well, what's he talking about? What does it mean? How does he know that? Where did he learn that from? I don't get it. Why does that got to do with the horses running around the track? It has a lot to do with it. Yeah, but people ask me how come I didn't put the information that I know in my book about horse racing, because I told a friend of mine, I says, who's going to buy my book on horse racing, even though I have I played horses for 9 years straight. That's all I did, 9 years. I didn't have a job. I actually played that with the lawsuits and money I had. But I played it for 9 years because I sat there with Gary and a couple other guys. These guys were all millionaires. I was the only one there with an unemployment check. But they asked me, why didn't you put horse racing in this book? It's because who's going to buy my book on horse racing when I was never a jockey? I mean, who's going to buy my book when you can buy a book from Gary Stevens, Jerry Bailey, and stuff like that? The other thing about that, I wish that those jockeys, because I've seen some of their, went through a couple of their books. I think Bailey, they talk a lot about what happened to them during their career. You know what people want to know? They want to know, how can I win this race? I don't care what happened to you 20 years ago. I want to know how to win this race. That's why on my show on 7 through 10, Delatory 360 Entertainment, you can go to YouTube. That's why I tell you how to handicap a race. And what I'm telling you, you have this information the rest of your life, and it's free. It's not, you don't have to buy it in my book. That's why I didn't put it in my book, because I felt, well, why should I do that? Who's gonna buy my book to horse race when I never, like, it's like me writing a book on being a pitcher. Are you gonna buy my book, or are you gonna buy Earl Hershiser's book or Sandy Koufax's book? Which one are you gonna buy? You're not gonna buy my book. So that's why I didn't do it. But on my show, I talk about the horse race, which I'm glad I did, because that information is all there so anybody can see that. I think Brett wants to get on the line here. Brett, are you there? Is he listening? Hello? Brett, if you're listening, you got to text me or Aaron to let you know that you're on the line. I think he's at work, and he's going to have a lunch break. So I don't know what's going on. He wanted to call in and give you his picks and stuff like that. But yeah, if you ever go to races, make sure you buy the form. This is an older form. This is church. This is the freebie. They give you freebies. A lot of times I buy the form because you get more information. I just buy it. When I'm going to play that track, really gonna stay there all day, that's him. I buy the rule form. Aaron's, are you calling? Are you calling in? Is that you? Yeah, are we a two-way here? Oh, I don't know. He's gonna call in. I don't know how he's gonna do this. I thought he was gonna be watching the show, talking while he's watching the show. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if he calls in. If he does call in, you people can ask him questions. That's what I thought. He was going to be watching the screen and reading the questions and answering it. I don't know how he's doing this. If he's not watching the show, he's just going to call in and give you picks. Let me see what else I got here. Blackjack Craps, and that's the only reason I talked about horses, because I was looking at the races at Del Mar, and I was playing blackjack, counting cards. So. And counting cards is not illegal. You just keep it to yourself. If they ask you, you need to leave your counting cards. Says, I'm not counting cards. I don't know how to do that. You don't have to talk to them. You can say, you know what? I'm leaving, and you can just leave. If they accuse you of card counting, they can't prove it. And casinos do frown upon it. So don't worry about it. You can become a great card counter. Like I said, make a little bit of money and go somewhere else. Don't sit there and start making stacks, because they're gonna put the eye in the sky on you. What's that, Frank? What? Frank Morano. Oh, this guy looks familiar. I wish more casinos would offer free bets on blackjack. Oh yeah, casinos sometimes they do. Indian casinos. That was one of the highlights of my recent trip to where? Crown. What is that? Cromwell. You were at the Cromwell? That's what I thought he said. Cromwell. A lot of people don't go there. It used to be. What was it called? Barbary Coast. Barbary Coast, and then some guy bought it and he called it Bill's Casino. Who goes to Bill's Casino? And now it's called the Cromwell. I learned how to play blackjack last night. Would you read my book? If you want to learn how to card count, you can get my book and learn to card count. But make sure keep it to yourself, because it will come back to bite you. All your friends around you all drunk yelling out card counting don't work when you're not winning. Card counting is not a guaranteed thing. It's not guaranteed, but it'll give you an idea if the cards are coming out tens or they're coming out. You can say small cards, because they even say small or large, but you can play the high or low count. Yeah, you learn to play blackjack. Okay, that's great. You know, one of the worst things you can do, and I've said this before, because they're called newbies at the horse races or blackjack or roulette, which is probably one of the worst. When you win the first time out, you never gambled in your life, and you won, say you won, I don't know, you bought in for $50 and you won $1,000. You got to look out, because you know what? You just happen to be there at that time, and you just happen to win at that time. Same thing with slot machines. You ever play slot machines in your life, and all of a sudden you hit a huge old jackpot? I've known people that lost their jobs, their marriages, over all the years that I've been around gambling. I have a friend. He was going to quit his job because he won 3 days in a row at the track. 3 days in a row. And I was with him, and we were playing quarter horses, because I was pretty good at quarter horses at that time. Sometimes the track doesn't work like you think it is, and he won 3 days in a row, and he told me, if I go back tonight and if I win, I'm quitting my job. I said, don't do it, man. Don't do it. You just got lucky. You just got on a win streak as a newbie, and this happens. And he goes, oh, you're just jealous because I'm better than you. And I go, oh, God. Anyway, he lost his ass the fourth day, so he kept his job, and he told me later that, because he went back after here and there. He said he could win for nothing. He just happened to pick horses. Junebug, same name as my cat. Let me see. I guess, I don't know, Brett can't get through, or I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Brett can actually tweet his picks. Brett, if you're listening, you can tweet your picks and just leave them on the screen. Or Aaron, why don't you text them? Just tell them, just tweet your picks and put them on. People can see them. I guess it didn't work out what we were going to do. So thanks a lot, guys, or gals. Yeah, she's at that concert. Thanks a lot for sending your tweets or Facebook. Yeah, this is them at that concert. It's Kenny Chesnick. That's where they're at. See, Aaron? No. I want to show the audience. Little lady.
I can bring it up on the computer.
No, I got a picture right here.
You see it? It's on
Oh,
there.
oh.
We got it.
Well, I want to show you her and Art. Anyway, they're at that Kenny Chesnick in Inglewood concert. Love this. But anyway, let me see what I got here. 10 minutes, I guess. What do you call it? I don't follow sports. Football is one of the only sports that I kind of follow, but I know nothing about what Brett knows. He used to work for ESPN. What was it? What was that guy's name? Almost the same as Brett Musburger. He's worked with him on ESPN. He's really good. Brett went to school, and he's really, really good. That's why I guess he's working. He's got a job and they keep changing his hours. So sometimes he can't get here, or he wants to call in, or so I don't know. It just didn't work out. Yeah, there's my daughter Avi and old man Art. Hey. Oh, now my daughter's a cowgirl, huh? Did they show up on your horses? So, by the way, she was on episode 23, her and her friend Marissa, and it was called Girls Night Out. So my daughter, when she usually plays, when she comes here, she runs to the crap table. And if Art's looking for her, he can't find her in the casino, he goes to the crap table, and there she is. I taught her to play craps when she was 7 years old. I was a sick puppy. I bought her a little crap table instead of Barbie dolls and clothes, and I bought her a crap table and started teaching her craps, and she was hooked. So that's what she plays now. But anyway, what I got here, Aaron? 5 minutes? Brett's on. Go ahead, Brett.
Richard, how's it going, buddy? Just hope I wasn't interrupted too much. Just wanted to drop in. Obviously, there's a lot of questions this time of year about what's going on in the sports betting landscape, mainly because sports, for the most part, outside of baseball, is pretty dormant. But baseball, out of the All-Star break now, action has resumed. The trade deadline is fast approaching, and big names like Juan Soto likely to be on the move. Expect a big team, like a big market team, perhaps to make a move. There's also been reports that a team like the Padres is ready to make a move for Soto. So just taking a quick look at that MLB future board, the Yankees at plus 350. They actually have dropped 2 since action has resumed on the other side of the All-Star game. However, obviously the best team in baseball, record-wise by far, we're on track to be perhaps maybe the greatest team in baseball. Obviously they've cooled down a bit, but they are still the odds-on favorites to take it all. The Dodgers right behind them at plus 375. Houston at plus 450. A lot of expectations out of the Yankees and the Astros in the American League in the series currently going on. And, of course, a possible American League pennant series that these two teams could very likely meet in. You have the Mets at plus 700, who currently look like the biggest obstacle for the Dodgers in the National League. And then right behind them, the reigning champion Atlanta Braves, who eliminated the Dodgers last year in the postseason. They're at plus 900. Toronto, a little steeper at plus 1,800. Milwaukee's right there with them. Toronto's a team that can score a lot of runs. But, again, if you're looking for a long shot, a price of 1,800 for a team like, again, the Blue Jays, the Brewers, the Padres, or the Rays is something very valuable right now, especially if a team like the Padres, who are currently priced at plus 2,500 right now, 25-1. If they were to make a move on Juan Soto, that would change things drastically. So now's the time you really want to pay attention to that future landscape, that future market in various books, whether you like to do it traditionally at any of the sports books in town or whether you like to use your betting app. Keep track of those future prices because they're going to continue to change as we get down the stretch here, but more so they're going to change immediately in the near future because of that trade deadline coming up. You look at the NBA future board right now, obviously the big news there, where will Kevin Durant go? Will he wind up staying in Brooklyn? Will Kyrie Irving wind up staying in Brooklyn as well? James Harden took a pay cut in Philadelphia in the hopes that they could compete. Looking at that future board right now, Boston, the odds-on favorite, says a lot that what the wise guys behind the counter think of the Celtics, given how much they were outplayed and outclassed by the Warriors in the finals. But again, given that roster and a team that has even gotten better probably since the season ended not that long ago, Boston is currently the odds-on favorite at plus 550. The Bucks behind them at 620, Golden State at 650, and the Lakers, who are a very polarizing team. A lot of teams are, the Clippers plus 680, Phoenix plus 740, and the Lakers, as I was saying, a very polarizing team. Some are very bullish, some are very bearish because LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook are going to be together again for a full year. If they could stay healthy, maybe they can make a run. Who knows? They're at 11-1 odds right now, with Miami at 14-1, and those Brooklyn Nets very much up in the air right now what they will look like this coming season. They are at 14-1. Where Philadelphia, again, with Harden taking that pay cut, let's see how they compete next year with Simmons and, of course, Embiid, who many argue was the league's MVP this year. They're at plus 1420. So both, I just wanted to really just touch base really quick, Richard, just on the NBA and the MLB future markets, because those are going to change in the next few weeks. So don't let this dormant period in sports confuse you, any novice bettors out there or any newcomers. Don't let that confuse you in the fact that since there aren't a whole lot of games across the board, that there aren't ways to find action right now, because those future prices are going to get tighter and tighter. And if you fire on them now, even before some of those key events in the offseason take place, like in the NBA or the midseason point in baseball, like the trade deadline, then you're going to be able to get that much better value if that price shrinks here in the next few weeks or so. So we're going to find out more here as the summer goes on. We know that at this point, again, the focus on a day-by-day basis is baseball. But at this point, baseball is very good to bet on a game-by-game basis just because you know what you're looking at now. You know what teams are going to look like out of the All-Star break. And at this point, if you are a regular baseball bettor, which most baseball bettors are because it's the sport that you could bet the most consistently, this is the point where you could really make a lot of profit because everything is going to start to solidify itself as the playoff picture starts to formulate. So a lot of exciting things happening in baseball. Again, Juan Soto likely on the move. Things have gotten very sour between him and the Nationals. He's going to head out. So that will very much shake up things as we move forward here in the back end of the season. And again, where Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant will go, it's likely now, and I shouldn't say likely, but it's a lot more likely that they will wind up staying in Brooklyn the way it's starting to look like, especially with what Phoenix recently did with the DeAndre Ayton move and going to the Pacers and some of these other things that have happened in the NBA offseason. Some of these market moves make it look like that Kevin Durant may not end up somewhere else after all at the start of the 2022 campaign in the NBA. So a lot to look at in the coming weeks on those future boards. In the NFL, not so much. Obviously, the big deal, news in that, on that beat, if you will, has been Kyler Murray. That big contract, that big extension off of his rookie deal. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks about him the last few years. A lot of flashes, but a lot of inconsistency. And the key takeaway from the Cardinals is simple, really, in the last couple of years. Great start, lousy finish. They always falter at the finish line and really just get into free fall form towards the end of the season. They were able to make the playoffs where they fell hard in the wild card round to those Rams, Richard. You know, those Rams that you were always big on throughout the whole offseason. They fell hard in the postseason in that wild card game, and it looked like Kyler may not be a long-term solution in Arizona, at least going off of that game. But Arizona is not going off of that game. They're going off of the totality of what they've seen since his rookie year in 2019. They paid him. I know it's big. A lot of people thought he got overpaid. It's a big contract. But guess what, Richard? We're living in the age where NFL quarterbacks are getting big contracts, even the ones who aren't necessarily elite. And that is why this has set the stage for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore to come to a deal now. Because I think Lamar Jackson, if Kyler Murray gets what he gets, Lamar Jackson could get that much more. So those are the key things to keep an eye on now as we start training camp. Several camps, pretty much all camps are now underway. Rookies and veterans have reported. So the big move now in the NBA offseason will be if Lamar Jackson can sign that rookie extension just like Kyler Murray did and further just juice up, if you will, that quarterback market that has gotten just absolutely huge in the last couple of years.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Brett, for calling in. Hopefully see you next Saturday here on Go Live Vegas Studios. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely, Richard. You're the man. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Bye. So we're going to say goodbye here. Saturday, Go Live Vegas Studios in the heart of Las Vegas. This is Full Tilt Vegas. Don't forget, I keep forgetting, smash that like button and subscribe so you get all our platforms here, our programs. So thank you, and we'll see you next Saturday. Thank you very much.
Go Live Vegas Studios, a unique multi-camera social media virtual content creators paradise. We offer high-end services using live streaming and film production for your personal or corporate, commercial or event and campaign needs. Pre-record or live stream to your audience on multiple social media platforms simultaneously. Fun and interactive with social media comments, phone lines, live remotes, audio Foley sounds, and Snapchat filters. Be creative, get recognized, and make money. We help you by providing an all in-house production team. Visit our website at golive.vegas